think I'm on. Let's see here if I'm on. It says I'm live. We'll test chat. That is very low quality for some reason. I have no idea why. Why is it so low quality? Dear God. Looks like it's saying something. It's good. Let's increase the size though. It's like it's working, so that's good. I just need to change the color. And I think I'm good enough, basically. White, probably the best. Wish there was an outline, but I think there is. I'm going to wait for a second and see if the changes take effect while I'm still on stream, because I would prefer that. It's kind of annoying that you have to, like, looks like the solution was to get off stream, make the changes I want to make on stream elements, then come back, and then like go back live, and I don't like that. Let's see. I can make changes if I just wait a few seconds. I can. Okay. Nice. So it looks like I'm good to go. I'll just prepare myself. And I think I have my first stream happening. There we go. So that's exciting. So, hello. You can call me Hudo Lupus. I'm a AIM developer. Actually, I work in a AAA company. It's probably the most unique thing about me. And I really like Monster Hunter. And this channel is the Grand Campfire. The intention of it is to find optimism and positivity around video games. One characteristic you might already see about me is that I have a speech impediment. It's a physical thing. It's like a ick. It's not like an accurate representation of what I'm thinking, so that's a thing to know. It's pretty severe relative to other people who have a similar issue, but ultimately, at least usually my experience, at least in my family, it's really common in my family that the ones that have the worst instance of it, it's usually you know, are they are they're far from idiots. Basically, they're the I wouldn't say the smarter ones, but like the out of everyone in the family who has the speech impediment, usually the ones who have it worse are more like critical thinking, I think, but in my opinion. But then again, that could just be a defense mechanism. But hello, this is my first stream. I guess the quality of the stream itself is not as high as I would like. I'm looking at it on the second screen, but I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I can change it on my screen, because I might just have it set too bad. Yeah, maybe it do. Yeah, it's not that bad. I think it's okay quality. I am excited. Yeah, so I'm playing Monster Hunter. It's a game that I know pretty pretty well. It's a game I would enjoy to play over a long period of time. If I'm streaming and stuff like that, it's probably easier to play than like a single player game for the very first time. That would be hard, because I'd rather like focus on the narrative happening, you know. But I'm a little bit worried because I haven't been playing Monster Hunter recently, so I may be a little bit out of practice. Hopefully not, but well, I will be. Just not. Hopefully not too much. Yeah, I don't know what to do. There isn't anyone online right now, so it's just like get into the habit of speaking and being alone and on stream. I do have some experience with streaming. Let's see. I forget what rank I'm in, but let's do at least 10. Let's do a search. Yeah, so I used to stream a bit. I streamed for like a month. Thought it was a lot of fun. I met some cool people. It was on Twitch, so now I'm questioning. Right now I'm streaming on YouTube and Kick, and I'm wondering if I should do to Twitch because the audience is larger, but I don't know. I'm not even recording this, I think, which I probably should. Okay, so I should now be recording. Should be recording. We'll go from there. So basically, I'll maybe upload this. I don't know yet. I'm still getting used to the idea. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Obviously nervous. First stream, that's an understandable thing. But I guess like I'm looking forward to having at least one person stop by. I imagine it'd be a unique experience, which is the key reason why I want to do this in the first place. Let's give that a go. The unique experience. That's... don't know what else to say other than that. Be a little bit goofy and be more social than usual. Because usually in these games, people don't say a lot. But sometimes you find friendlies, basically. So yeah, I used to stream in 2019. I had a lot of fun doing it. It wasn't 2019 actually. Oh my goodness, I think it was 2017. May have been 2017, or either 2017 or 2018. Maybe it was 2018. and it was fun. I streamed the first ASX, the one from like 1998, I think. And it was like the first time I played through it, and I was obligated to play through it, and that was something that oh, I guess he's not sticking around. All right, I'll change server. In my first stream, I had someone join. It just surprised me. So I'm wondering if the same will happen here. But I'm hoping anyway, actually. Let's find a server. Let's just do MR. Any master rank will be good enough. And it was fun meeting people that like you never met, like never met before. Obviously, you get that's kind of a prerequisite, isn't it? 40, so it should be good. Yeah. Hopefully my quality of video is good enough. But I don't know how much if anyone ever joins the stream and they rewind just to give some overall a general invitation. I think in roughly like an hour and in 40 minutes, I wonder if I can make this a little bit of an open thing where I can invite anyone who's on the stream to have a conversation for basically. That's what I plan to do. A little bit unique. I'm willing to talk to anyone, basically. Obviously, with reference for people who are already like streamers or people who are used to speaking on stream or more comfortable and stuff like that.
We were waiting for you.
Otherwise, the conversation won't be as good. Cause I think that's a skill you learn. Let's focus on the fight for now. What are we doing? Oh, you're fighting. Yeah. Looks like it's too great. See, that's the thing I'll have to get used to. I'm just so used to just reading things inside my own head, right? But I'm not speaking out loud. Speaking out loud is a dish. To be more honest about what I say. Now I have to get used to speaking and playing. We'll see. Luckily, this is like a little more leveled up ahead than these people, I think, so it won't be so horrible. There won't be anyone angry at me while I get used to streaming and playing. I'd say like I'm good enough at the game. I played the first Monster Hunter. Like I used to play like probably hundreds of hours of the first Monster Hunter. Perhaps. That may be wrong because I think your perception of time is things feel slower in your youth. So I could be incorrect on that. It does, at least based off how I feel time currently. Oh, it looks like there's someone watching, but I wonder if that's just counting the other screen I have. That didn't make sense. If there is someone watching, definitely say hi. It will probably influence the things I say.
May the heavens have mercy on you! Incoming!
Here it comes!
You're in danger!
Not. No. I'm trying to get back to the rhythm of things. So might, nice.
Get ready! You're the target!
So, I guess it's worth talking about what makes it's pretty slow. What makes me unique as a stream? Like I don't know if that's like genuine or not, but it's interesting that like I'm a game developer, work for a AAA company. Specifically, I'm a game designer officially, but I'm more of an narrative designer unofficially. So I work on systems that are narrative focused and help with maybe consulting the narrative of other systems. That's probably a good
I'll help myself.
concise explanation of my job,
Perks
I
of the
guess.
job.
And that's what makes me unique.
Let's see.
So one thing that the reason why I thought about talking about now is that a unique thing of Monster Hunter Rise is that the
Might as well put
is that
this
the
to use.
player characters, the character that the players have control over, you can hear them like you can hear them speaking and talking, which is an iffy thing to decide on for a game like Monster Hunter. And I always thought I was worried about the choice, but now I understand the reasoning for it. It helps make the game a little more accessible. That's because they're using the player character arcs or voiceovers, like "Watch out!" All those are signals for incoming monster attacks. So for people who may not be as acquainted with the game, they can see they get more of a telegraph of what's about to happen. And not just for people who are less acquainted, but like it's easier when for any player who doesn't have the camera looking at the monster. So like especially helpful for group oriented. Like let's say you're fighting against a group of monsters, like 2 or 3, right? Like it'd be arguably unfair for the player if these signals aren't strong enough. So having a player character signal to highlight the very powerful attacks is actually pretty good design, arguably. Because like the other alternative is to ensure that every monster has like their big attacks have very distinct sounds and always have like have it play over any other monster sounds, basically. But which is, yeah, that's actually a good way to do it too. So I am a little bit skeptical of having the arcs here in your player. There's usually like I should talk to, I guess I'm leveled up enough. Yeah, I'm thinking the thing, maybe I should stream on Twitch. I should probably make sure I have my chat up on Kick too. Excuse me while I adjust my camera. I'm using my laptop webcam, so you're gonna see a lot more of a streamer than the most, perhaps. Kick.com. But I'm excited. I think I have a knack for speaking a lot, so I think that I can be somewhat entertaining. I think always saying something. But the quality of the videos are not good enough. Why is that? That's something to look into. If I can really quickly. Because I do not want to spend all this time while people are just going like, Jesus, this is too low quality, and they escape the situation. I have pretty good internet, so I don't know why. Playback speed, yeah. I guess the video resolution, but it's just because I would prefer to spend my time thinking about streaming while I'm streaming. Kind of, I don't want to spend time outside of streaming doing this. I don't know if that's unfair to people who are watching me, but it is what I prefer. CBR 6000 0 seconds, medium preset tuning. I guess encoder. Two passes of being full resolution, so implying higher resolution, hopefully. Preset. Let's go a little bit higher, and maybe that'll help. A little bit nervous about that. I hope the stream. Hope people don't mind it. But what else can I do? You know, let's continue the stream. I dismissed that text. But Bahari the scientist, and just like it's dearly departed, it's a lot stronger than before. To make matters worse, monsters are starting to freak out. At this rate, we could have another rampage on our hands, the likes of which we've never seen before. The All-Mother must be dealt with immediately, but if another rampage were to occur, which should we prioritize? So the All-Mother is the main boss of the original campaign, so I'm playing more of the end game, if you're okay with that. Both. Rudolph, you faced Narwa, the All-Mother, once before and emerged victorious. Therefore, I leave the matter to you. I will gather the best warriors from the capital to quell these beasts seeking to bring forth another rampage. We will repay Kimura for all they've done for us. We will prevent another rampage. Understood? Is Command Admiral. Right. The kingdom will do all we can to prevent another rampage. We leave the All-Mother to you. Get the quest details from Chiche and depart immediately. Join that quest soon. That's what I get for waiting. Great. She has something to say anyway.
It's great to see you.
Under the command of Her Majesty, the Royal Order makes ready to stave off the rampage. Admittedly, I would rather that the knights stationed here accompany them, but we must put our faith in the capital. But fear not, for you shall find no finer warriors than those in the capital. That is not to say those here are any less capable. What say you, Rudolph? Will you defeat Narwa, the All-Mother, and help us put an end to this once and for all?
Yep.
Cheech. I don't know what she's saying there. Cheech. Oh, yes, that's... Oh, she's referring to herself in short form. Don't forget the official stuff. Completing this quest will unlock Master Rank 30 for you. Good luck.
A special quest has been added.
So, this is like extra after. I would not be ready for this, I think. Especially because I haven't been playing this. So, basically these first three. But this is the upcoming quest that I should be thinking about. But I am a little bit nervous about it because I haven't been playing. It says I have one viewer. Is that me on Hick right now? Is that how they count it? I'm assuming so. If not, please say something. Say hi, because it will influence what I say. I mean, and if you don't want to converse, I will not converse with you. But It's kind of good to get an idea of things. So I'm going to leave the lobby. So I am alone-ish. There's no available mission for me to join. It's going to be so embarrassing if this was the one I just left. Doesn't look like it. MR5. They are. Little map. Check out my Meowxnaries. Maybe I can do that. Maybe not. Not really that important. Don't really care. Just extra resources. Yeah, where are these people?
Hey there.
Might as well do this. Yeah, don't really. Sure, why not? The amount of effort they put into these these side things are interesting, because it's like, with me, like, I would make an argument that it helps make the village feel like it's ongoing, like when you go on a hunt, you're coming home to a village that has like its own activities, right? There's resources being gathered up by other people. I mean, they're only NPCs, but yeah, it's a similar thing. Yeah. Don't know where the other people are, so I'll leave. I kind of miss. I once heard that the online play for this game isn't as good as it was in oof, that was hard. Hurled. So Must Hunter World, the last Must Hunter. And I guess it goes to show I didn't get a chance to play online so much, because I thought it was, like, of the amount I played, I thought it was kind of horrible. Like, really, especially when you played the campaign, like the single player. Well, the single player, I should do this. This is too high. Let's see if they'll help me. Just to see. This random fella joins the crew.
A special quest has been added. Best of luck.
Looks like they have a old mother outfit. They have old mother. Oh wow, they might be very used to fighting old mother. Oh nope, he is not
That's
interested.
enough of that.
see. Strife is the host, so for him to not want to join the quest, we'll see. You can see when someone's a host. If you look on the far left, you look at the player list. Strife has the red flag. Oh, someone traveled in the open world. Open world is a weird way to refer to it, by the way. It's kind of funny that they use that phrasing. Open world, I don't think open world is really used that way. Open world more refers to a single instance of filled with like more systemic elements where things are not linear. But that's far from any official definition, so I could be very incorrect. C-Day 1. Strife. Lethus. Looks like... Well, let's see what they do. Level 57. I can't do anomalies. Oh, I can. Just not that one. Fuck you guys, I'm leaving. Let's actually pay attention to the master rank. Let's see if this is, if they're not on a quest. They're not on a quest. And so far, I've never had anyone join. Which once again makes me question if I should do this on Twitch instead. Like Twitch and YouTube maybe. Why choose YouTube? It's a question. Like YouTube can kick because I'm kind of wondering if I should do commentary as well. So commentary being to watch videos on the side, and then do commentary on the videos. It's hard to do commentary when like I haven't played Monster Hunter in a while. I'm not experienced with streaming, so playing and streaming and doing any like even it's like video commentary, but like to comment on stuff that's not even like what I'm on the game I'm playing. That's something else too. But it would make, I don't know, I might. But anyway, it's easier to do it on YouTube and Kick because it's hard to predict which like if a video I'm watching involves a streamer who is banned from Twitch at some point. It's hard to keep track of that. Very hard to keep track. I don't like the video quality. It should be higher, shouldn't it? It would make the hating more interesting. I could make, yeah, to think. I guess this is the case where a streamer would ask the audience what they'd want to do. But.
Happy hunting!
Pros and cons. Trying to quest. I guess it'd be good when I'm not on a quest to do commentary, maybe.
Time for a rest.
48.
That'll do.
Back to work.
Ready. A few more seconds,
Give me a
please.
few more moments.
I'm probably the coolest looking guy here. It's like my favorite outfit so far. Like honestly, I've played the first Monster Hunter, played other Monster Hunters. I wouldn't say like throughout the series I've kept up to date. Why are they just standing like that? There we go. But I don't think I've ever had my hunter look as cool as he is right now. Arguably.
Let us move.
I think I only have a. Right, I have a cat with me, so I can't jump on my dog and travel. But yeah, now that I'm in Quest, I probably won't listen to a video. Just me in the wilderness. And the monster soon enough.
Let us begin. Bring it.
Coming in hot.
Follow me, monster.
I actually forgot how to block. I had to think about that for a second. Yeah, R2.
Watch out! Something.
KO hits in.
Over.
No. It's so easy to do with Anjanath because his head is so high. At least for Sword and Shield. Good question is why Sword and Shield? So I used to, in the first Monster Hunter, I used to play the Great Sword actually. Because I thought it was very. It was a long story, but like I've been interested in the series since like the first trailer. And in the first trailer, it had like the Great Sword, front and center, and doing some like at the time, which was insane shit. Basically, like hitting dragons while they're flying over you and stuff like that, or cutting off their tails. Seems like the Great Sword has always been the trademark weapon of the series. But yeah, I used to play it. And I forgot, I played Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, and I was excited about the Onsword. I played it for a bit. I didn't play a lot of Freedom Unite actually, and that's pretty much all I played until Monster Hunter World.
It's targeting you.
In Monster Hunter World,
Be careful.
I played the Great Sword, but I felt it was unsatisfying. So like I would play. I remember especially playing against a monster.
It's all over for you.
It was a red one. Forgot what it's called. It was like a red demonic
Watch out! It's up to
dog,
something.
and he was a lot faster. And like I was able. What was cool? I played Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, and I played it. I didn't faint until towards the end of Iceborne, actually. think I fainted once with Ergi Ante, I think. And but I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think it was first faint with Nergigante, but never never again. And at the time, Iceborne was already out, so I went straight to Iceborne. So that I guess I didn't really do the end game stuff. Never played the Behemoth. It's supposed to be very hard, but it didn't. I didn't faint until I did the last campaign mission of Iceborne, basically. But anyway, at first I played the Greatsword, and it was very slow. And when I played against the one monster, it was not fun at all. Now I'm very pay attention to what I'm saying rather than playing the game. And I was very concerned with like, oh, I want to make sure I don't faint. I want to be I want to survive as well as I can. And so it just seemed like I experimented, and I just felt like the sword and shield was the most flexible. And I like the overall style of the sword and shield. It's like a yeah. So like it reminds me of military officers who have like in like World War II that they don't have a rifle but they have a handgun. It just kind of reminds me of that. There's something similar being tapped into as aesthetically speaking.
Be careful! Brace yourself!
So that's why I just in Monster Hunter World I wanted to be. I cared a lot about surviving, being able to survive as much as possible the first time I hunt a monster, and ended up with Sword and Shield. And I got used to it. It's kind of like, well, if I've used one weapon for a long period of time and I want to get, you know, I keep up with the difficulty curve. You end up you just end up using the same weapon you've always used, just to make sure you're keeping up with the difficulty curve. So that's how that's happening. That's why I'm still using it.
Be careful!
Well, I'm not making a good show of it, obviously. At least it's obvious to people who play the game, maybe. I'm not sure other people.
It's fleeing!
And by other people, I mean no one, basically. But at least I'm making the effort. I'm surprised these crabs are staying around.
Have a taste of this!
Dodged a few attacks. Feel good about it. Not this one.
Job. Take this!
See if I can get another help. Probably wouldn't.
He sprung the trap!
Are they?
Take this!
Oh my god! I actually missed that. I wonder how useful it really is to focus on KOs as a sword and shield main. Like it's fun to get a KO, and it's really satisfying for like it's kind of it feels like a teamwork thing. Nice, like that.
This is the end.
It's a shame how much he moves his head.
Any last words? Incoming!
He angry.
Put down! Something!
Come on. I want to get back into that flow, you know? Trying to remember how to play it. Oh, I guess there's not iframes on that. Okay. I've hardly used it compared to body full for a second there. Oh hey, I have a viewer on Kick. Hello. I'm if you want to say hi, I'm open to it basically, but you don't have to. But if you have any questions on who I am or what I'm playing, I'm open to it. Unfortunately, like I'm not used to streaming and playing, so I feel a little bit embarrassed. But to speak and stream at the same, to speak and play at the same time is a little bit of
It's after you!
a little bit of a skill to develop. So that might not, and unfortunately, the result I might opt to not speak as much as I should. It's fun. It's a fun skill to develop. That's why I want to begin streaming, because it's a whole new skill to work on.
Thanks, buddy.
Finally getting some hits in, actually.
Put down! It's up to something!
I haven't played in a while, so
Good job.
it's like everything hurts a little bit extra. I feel like if I ever whiff anything, it feels like the biggest shame possible. Get some KO damage, nice. I think he was already KO'd twice, so not really handy.
Your days are numbered.
But it's a habit at this point.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Victory!
So yeah, I haven't played in a while, so I will need to warm up. I haven't played in weeks. I began playing a month ago, or a month and a half ago, or 2 months ago. So I'll get used to. Well, I shouldn't say a month and a half ago. 2 months is probably accurate, and then I stopped playing for a bit because I usually
Have a taste of this.
usually I play games for like 50 hours. Like even if it's a single player
Not
game,
quite
or
sharp
whatever.
enough.
but I've been wanting to begin. I wanted to try out streaming, and for a stream game, it's more interesting that you play a game that you're acquainted with. And so I used to play the first Monster Hunter a lot, like in I think it was high school, like
This is going to
I
hurt!
forget which grade exactly, but a lot of Monster Hunter, the first one, I could
Quest
definitely see
complete.
myself playing this for many hours. So I'm seeing if I can do that while streaming, basically. One thing I want to make sure I always say is that the unique thing about me is that I'm a game developer. I work for a AAA company. So like, if you ever have questions, I might have some unique answers basically on the game industry. But I've been in the industry for the last 4 years. But eat first thing. I'm not the host, so I'll just eat and wait for the other person. I'm surprised because it looks like I have viewing on Kick, but not on YouTube. I heard YouTube was had a lot more viewers. But I'm not really acquainted with all of its variables anyway. And every time I watch this animation, I always think that it's just not as good as the animations in Monster Hunter World.
Time to go.
So I'm constantly reminded of that. Like with Monster Hunter World, the food, my mouth would water at it. While I think an issue with Monster Hunter Rise is that a snack, I forgot what they're called. They're like a Japanese-oriented snack, but I don't have any history with it. So when I look at it, it's not like I think, oh, I know how that tastes. It just seems like random colors. So I don't think I think what the hell is this basically? Although I exaggerate, it's essentially it's the same sentiment. I wonder how many did I take the potions? Yeah, no. Basically, just helping out this Master Rank 2 fella. It's the goal. But to make things interesting, I wonder what will happen. Let's see what happens. I don't usually play multiplayer games, actually. So sometimes like these interactions with random players are kind of a unique fun for me anyway. If it ever happens. But usually I do play single player games. I don't know. Like I do have a good understanding of the reason for it, but it's weird because I have a family who are the opposite of me when it comes to playing video games. Like they love games like Diablo or Call of Duty. Playing multiplayer games, so that's I can't with those games I can't imagine playing that for more than like an evening or like a week. For more than a week I can't imagine that. That's right, that's what you're doing, that's what we're doing.
Time for a rest.
Ready. I'll
I'll be with you in a moment.
Almost done.
I guess I'll be a little bit goofy. Let's see. The question is why.
That'll do.
I decided to just leave the quest. Cool looking armor, yeah, true. Just to be like the stereotypical. No, that's too much.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like this is my first stream, so I'm still getting used to what the format will be. But if I'm playing Monster Hunter, I can see myself going in and out. Like when I'm waiting for the beginning of a hunt, I might listen to a YouTube video maybe, which is why I'm not streaming on Twitch. Because like it's hard to keep track of. You know, if you were to watch a video of other streamers, it's hard to keep track which ones have been banned on Twitch or not. I might have that in the future. I don't know yet, because I imagine it'd be easier if I had more people viewing me. It's a lot easier to have conversation or to fill the air. Oh dang, the person left. Not a build person, I don't know. Guess let's have a look.
Hey, good to see ya. Let's get you fixed up then, shall we?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to make sure I
I'll be
save
here
this
when you need
equipment because
me.
it look amazing. I think this is layered armor, right? I can't remember. I do have some Kaiser. Manage appearance settings, hunter loadout, register loadout. Mainly care about the equipment. How do I save it? I'll figure it out at some point. That's a thing for future Little Lupus to worry about. Yeah. So once again, my name is the name I go by is Udo Lupus, and the stream channel is Grand Campfire. It's a little bit of a. I more care about like the group. Care more about the sentiment behind gathering around campfire, enjoying company, be more optimistic. Haven't really, I should probably hammer out like the exact sentiment behind it, but the main thing I wanted to say is it's group oriented. I'm just writing something down for myself to look up loadouts, but it's not urgent enough for me to figure it out as we speak. And I should probably make sure let's see. 1 sec, waiting for a friend. No worries. Looks like we have some socializing happening. I wonder if I should ask if they're okay if I'm streaming. It's always a question I have in my head, like, well, probably like, what if they're all like, I don't want to find out they're all like 15-year-olds. I'm spending my time playing with people in like junior high and high school. That would be a little bit on the depressing side. Huh. So we just wait. Yeah, so I have two options. I'm thinking I watch a YouTube video, a stream, which is not planned, or what? I basically say, hey, are you okay with streaming, and see what happens. See if they'll begin to watch the stream. Because then I'd actually like have some direct. I could be speaking to someone, because I'm not for sure not set up to do voice chat right now in the game. I don't think so. Maybe I can figure it out. Yeah, just turn it on.
We can't do this.
I don't know the controls to deactivate it when I want. Player action, start menu, switch, controls, radial menu, controls. Radial. I'll probably look that up really quick, actually. Start menu, multiplayer player list. No. Is it always on when you turn it on? Does it just pick up everything? Push to talk is what the feature's called. How do you even use voice chat? There is no option for push to talk. Oof. RIP, as the kids say. Oh, what they used to say. I don't know if they still say RIP. That feels like an old thing to say, actually. Is this him? Is this the one? Just I have a feeling this might be a thing that I'll do. I always I'll do chat and be awkward all the time. Phrase things just a little bit oddly. Go. I'm in. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, someone's using their owl. Why? Wait, is that a player owl? No, wonder if he uses these. And maybe next time we'll listen to a video. I could chat at the same time, and I'm not gonna tell them I'm live streaming. Oh, it says "Think for yourself" videos on my as a title. Ah, yeah, that's what I had. Oh no, I should edit that if I can. See if I can.
All right, let's go. Good to go.
Up you
Okay. Can I save? Cannot save while issues are unresolved.
Let's go.
Okay, bye. Yeah. Is that, what are the other issues? It's not made for kids. Save. That fixed the, if it did. Can't see. Boop, 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 your channel, and boop, yeah, it fixed it. That's good. Now for kick.com. Hopefully they don't hate me for this. Edit, edit, edit. There we go. Channel. I'm glad I set OBS well enough that doesn't show everything. Which is good.
We could use a hand.
Let's go.
Oh no, I need to do this. Dashboard. 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 Oh no. I guess I can't change it while... I don't think I can. Well, I guess I have to accept that. Whoever joins, I'll just make sure they know that I might not be watching those videos. Although I might do it in between. Now that I didn't realize I had that in the title. I'd been thinking about this for a while, for a few weeks, to do streams, but never have the time to set things up, you know. Or what are we fighting? No, that I wouldn't know for sure. I'm embarrassed. No, man.
I'm targeting you.
Got its eyes on you!
Like, that's example of a player character voiceover that's hard to, that does a signal that you cannot see. Like, there's no other visual, as far as I can see, a visual signal that the monster is targeting a monster. Or sorry, a hunter.
Get away.
So when they say that it's targeting you, it's a very advanced signal. So it's cool that they have it. I think it makes it more
You listen to me now.
accessible.
Excuse me.
But the consequence of that is like that you're giving your kind of real your character's a little more real making it harder for the player maybe to inject themselves. But I think the cost is very small, minimal, because there's not much else happening with the player character in Monster Hunter. They don't do or say anything much else, so it's I think the harm is small while improving the profile of feedback you're giving the player.
Farewell!
Nice ride.
It's the end of the line for you!
You're done for!
I got a surprise! Nice!
Looks useful.
Be careful!
Oh yes, I don't play this monster often.
Stay calm.
If I ever hear that bark, I don't actually have something in mind. It's like, well, be careful, okay? Well, he's looking in the other direction. I should probably pay him. I should be more acquainted with this monster. Yeah, I should be.
This is for my fellow hunters!
Get ready!
Give us a little bit.
Goodbye!
Gotten a few slashes before going for it. A KO there. Nice. Maybe.
You're the target!
They're yanking at you!
You're mine!
Have a taste of this!
Are you ready?
Maybe do a second KO soon.
Get back here! I shall use this trap.
I was able to get the hit in, which was nice. The last Shoryuki. Oh, Bofingo, god damn it. Oh, I shouldn't have used that wire bug. Might be able to get a kill. Maybe.
Job.
High hopes. He's probably gonna kill it.
Let us dance! This'll do for now!
That's
Showed
one for
him.
the history books.
It's over!
Here comes the pain!
Going for a full combo. I did it. Okay. Yeah, wow, I'm seeing quite a few KO hits.
Take this!
That was good towards the end. Got a lot of hits.
Oh, we did it!
Oh god, someone will watch on YouTube.
Nothing
Nice.
personal.
Oh, but maybe that might not be just be.
Pardon my
What
Me,
have we
potentially.
here?
If it is someone else, please say hi if you want. Don't wanna. It's good.
Sweet.
It's good to confirm, basically. If it's just me or not.
I know.
Here we go.
Nice.
It will influence how I like what things I say. Might ask
Bet you
questions.
can't
Stuff
catch
like that.
me!
Gotcha.
As streaming goes. Yeah, I think it was just me. It's like I exited. On my laptop. Which is weird because I'd be watching on the same account, which is fucking not right. It makes it seem like I'm more popular than I am. It seems like an easy thing to fix, easy thing to prevent. Don't make your own streams count as watchers. It seems straightforward. Post the quest now, no longer there. Okay. I feel like I'm not progressing, but just helping these people.
Back to work.
That's the problem with playing a game like this, just for the sake of playing. Sorry, fuck, I can't do this. I have to leave. I'm sorry. Have a good one. I won't even. Oh, he said bye. Nice. So why? I don't want to. Want to make sure I'm always progressing. That's basically it. I mean, I guess it would be nice to fight Narwa. Oh, mother. It's its own fight. Slay the Narwa and oh, mother. Does it not include the other one? The All Father or whatever? Could do anomalies too. That's part of the end game. I could respond to it to see if there's a join request. So to check in, how am I feeling? Well, I've been streaming for roughly an hour and a half, and what's cool is that it feels like it's been longer than that. So that's something. So I think that's a sign of there's more complexity at play, right? But my brain's more active, basically, which is it's kind of nice, basically. I don't think there's anyone playing that one. Oh, these are early ones too, so it's just not surprising. So now for my next strategy, just keep joining servers. Oh, I think that the second person on YouTube was actually someone else. Okay, 'cause now I re-entered YouTube on the machine I'm playing on. So there was someone. Cool. Shit, I don't know what to do to make people stick around. That's a whole other skill set, I guess. I don't know what to do. About 30, so let's make sure I keep leveling up. Let's do these people. Let's see what happens. Wish that there was like a feedback survey thing. Let's help them. Hey, I don't know if that's the. Oh, Amatsu. Oh. Stream. What do I do? You know? Yeah. I'm not gonna wait around, right? So what I will do is ensure I have video to listen to. My laptop is doing something weird right now. Weird. It was black screen for a second. And looks like my stream's still going on. That's good. I wish the video quality was higher. I just wish I knew what was up with that. So this is not exactly a think for yourself video, which is the summary I have on kick.com right now, but I do wonder if it's okay. So usually it's easy to watch videos of streamers because it's a sort of an accepted thing where like you can react to content that's sort of accepted that way. But I wonder. Let's see what happens. I'm small anyway. I'm new. Let's see. So this is called How to Think Yourself Happy. Just decided to pick this one.
Brainitos presents How to Think Yourself Happy, the Power of Positivity. So, you want to be happier, but all the self-help books and articles, motivational speakers, and life coaches in the world can't seem to help you. Well, maybe it's not them, maybe it's you. And while the idea of thinking yourself happy might sound like a tall order, it's really not as difficult as you may think. The first step is to acknowledge that your thoughts are powerful and they can make or break your mood. This means that in order to change anything about yourself, including how happy you are, you need to start with your own mind. So if you're someone who struggles with negative self-talk, pessimism, or worry, then this video is for you. Here are 8 ways you can think yourself happy. Number 1. Think positively.
stream is slowing down.
It's important to
Maybe
have a
because I'm watching
positive
video.
outlook on life.
Looks like Monster
But
Truck's
sometimes it
crashed.
can be hard to maintain a positive attitude
Wow,
when you're going through
full-on
hard times.
Crashed.
We've all experienced those moments where we feel like nothing is going our way and we just want to
Yeah.
give up.
That
But
sounds
here's
well-
the thing. If you want to think yourself happy, then you're going to need to learn how to stay positive whenever possible. That means that even when things aren't going well, you must find something good in each situation and focus on that instead of dwelling on what's wrong. This might seem like an impossible feat at first, but with practice,
Sure.
it'll get easier and easier until eventually it becomes second nature. Number 2, think optimistically. Optimism is not about pretending that everything is rosy and good. It's actually the belief that things will get better and that good things will happen. It's about seeing the glass half full instead of half empty.
Not handle?
Optimism is really just a choice you make.
Be able to.
When you decide to think optimistically, you're choosing to focus on what's working instead of what isn't.
Oh, now it seems to be.
You're choosing to be grateful instead of bitter or resentful. You're choosing hope instead of despair, and those choices add up. Number 3, think creatively. When you're feeling down, it can be hard to imagine that there's another way of
Seems
looking
to
at
reset
things,
for some reason.
especially when you feel like nothing is going right. But if you force yourself to come up with new ways of thinking about your situation, you'll find that it can help you feel a whole lot better. If there's something in your life that makes you unhappy, a job, a
Yeah,
relationship, whatever it may be, don't turn it into a resentment against yourself or anyone else. Instead, try thinking about how you can make it work for everyone involved. When you think creatively, you're not just thinking of new or different ideas, you're also reimagining the way that you approach your problems. And when you see things in new ways, you also find solutions that weren't apparent before. Number 4, think purposefully. Thinking purposefully is not about being in denial or trying to ignore your thoughts, but rather about being mindful of the way you think. It's about learning how to think in a way that helps you make better
Maybe I should
decisions
make sure I'm
and
on,
feel happier. When you're feeling sad, anxious, or lost, it's very easy to slip into a downward spiral of negative thoughts. But if you start thinking about what will make you feel good and then figure out how to get there, you'll find yourself moving in the right direction and feeling much better as a result.
Can I change?
Number 5,
Kingdom Health?
think elevating thoughts.
Hey, I do have that.
This is a process where you think about the things in your life that fill you with warmth, joy, and gratitude, as opposed to thinking about things that make you fearful, angry, jealous, or sad. For example, think about your best friend and why they're so great to be around. Think about the time when someone was kind to you and helped you out when no one else would.
Go for this one if
Think
I
about
frame
all
rate
the
too
ways
much.
in which the world is beautiful and amazing. When you focus on these positive aspects of your life, you feel better, not only because you're appreciating all the good that you have, but also because you're training your brain to look for these things, instead of automatically looking for problems and challenges. And when you do that long enough, your brain starts seeing more of those positive
Okay,
things
fixed it.
too.
Nice.
Number 6, think funny. When you're having a bad day, giving yourself the chance to laugh is a simple way to turn your mood around, and it doesn't take much effort. You don't have to go out
It's, yeah,
and do a
little
stand-up
bit
comedy
reason
routine
why
or
I'm
anything
saying
like that. Just
feeling
try to
super-
see the lighter side of things. Instead of letting yourself get stuck in a negative cycle, try to think about what could be funny about the situation. Even if it takes some time for you to see the humor in something, remembering that we all have bad days will help you keep perspective. Number 7, think long-term. The urge to get what we want or need right now is hard to ignore. It's one of the most basic human instincts, and it can be a powerful motivator. But it's important to consider how this need for instant gratification affects your long-term happiness. For example, if you buy something on credit and don't pay it off right away, then you'll have to make monthly payments with interest for months or even years, and that can get expensive. It will likely put a damper
That's
on
me.
your mood as well.
I'm in that fucking
So
server.
always
What am I
think
doing?
about how your actions today will affect your life in the long run. What can you do today that will make sure you're on track for a better tomorrow? It's not always easy, but if we all just took the time to consider this question before acting on our impulses, we could all be much happier. Number 8,
accept
think
me.
possibility and
Lord,
opportunity.
please let me find
As Henry
people who
Ford
will help me in
famously
this
said, whether you
scary
think you
quest.
can or think you can't, you're right. This isn't just a thought, it's a fact. Studies show that the more you focus on your failures and problems, the more they seem to get worse.
Oh,
But when you
yes, very
start
true.
to see them as opportunities for growth and
Think about
improvement,
problems.
they become much easier to manage. There are virtually no limits to what you can do or how much success you can achieve once you start thinking about the possibilities in life, instead of focusing on the problems and hurdles. There you have it. Happiness is something that can be cultivated and nurtured through the practice of positivity. You can't just expect your brain to change its tune and think happy thoughts on its own. If you want to be happy, you have to consciously choose to be. Essentially, happiness is a state of mind. Therefore, thinking yourself happy is all about choosing a good mindset, which means you have the power to change your own life by changing how you view
It's
it.
actually pretty cool.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the
I've never
subscribe button
found
and remember to
bowguns
click on the
that
notification
aesthetic, but that
bell.
one looks
Also,
aesthetic to me.
be
You
sure
know,
to
it
check
looks
out
so,
our other
like,
videos as well.
cliche, maybe.
Thanks
It
for
looks like a
watching.
full-fledged, like, high-powered rifle. It looks cool. Ruckus, join my cause. So yeah, that was that video. One thing to learn is that, example, try and force yourself to think about variety of positive aspects about the situation, just even to think of them. You don't have to agree with them, but just basically to force yourself to think variety will put yourself in a improved mood, which is true. Recently, I'd say I'm a little bit I wouldn't say I'm happy. So that's kind of a reason why I chose that video, I'd say. And that's a good point. That the one aspect is that I care or think about issues or problems, right? And that's just what I end up focusing on. So that is helpful. And I guess the viewpoint, like, there are people who are happy out there. Why can't I? Seems very simple, but true. Alright, let's do something else. So something to think for yourself. That's interesting. So I didn't really plan videos, didn't plan on it, but it seems to be a good way to fill the time. There's a video here. It's from the channel Jordan B. Peterson Clips, which is like instantly like I don't know if I want to. For like mainly because he's divisive, like it'll be like, you know, whoever ends up watching me, they see Jordan Peterson, and it will say a lot about me, even though I don't mean to. But the title of it is intriguing me. It says there's no difference between thinking about yourself and being miserable. So I think might as well give it a go.
It's not well, that's it.
I guess you can't watch
The
it.
other thing that seems to happen, I would say too, is that the social media networks are set up so that casual, derogatory, derisive, narcissistic mocking is not only allowed,
Guys, just
but
ruckus.
staggeringly prevalent.
And
And
encouraged.
it's not, well, that's it.
Order.
And it attracts attention and is encouraged. Now, you know, we have to talk during our conversation today about the role that narcissism plays in all of this.
Yes.
The mobbing, the derisive online comments, and the transsexual phenomenon itself, as well as this claim that subjective claims to identity trump everything, because there is no more signally narcissistic claim than that.
Yes,
I am
exactly.
who I say I am, and no one else has a say. It's like, well, really, in a marriage, let's say, you're just who you say you are. You don't have to negotiate your
usually
identity with your
you
wife
need
or
to accept
husband.
what-
You never do
whatever
that
they
with your
think of
children.
it.
You never do that
It's
with your
part of your
friends.
identity.
They just go along with whatever game you want to play every bloody second of your life, do they? And if they don't, that makes them evil predators and valid targets for derision and mocking, and worse than that, because as you know perfectly well, this online mobbing behavior that's driven by thoughtless narcissists not only is psychologically destabilizing because of its vitriolic quality, but also can certainly reach its tendrils into the confines of your job, let's say. I mean, it's become impossible for me to work as a psychotherapist. I had to leave my job at the university because it became impossible for me to function in both those domains. And so I would say this narcissism is also encouraged by educational institutions, because they take young people in and they say, well, you know, your immature messianic desire to save the world, which could be admirable if channeled properly, should manifest itself in this vehement activism that puts you in position of ultimate moral authority over your seniors,
Jordan
let's
Peterson, he
say,
says things a
instantly.
little bit
And that's what you
uniquely.
should be doing. And anyone who opposes that is,
Vehement.
evil and
Vehemently.
predatory
Or maybe
at
I'm-
best.
I don't
And
know.
as a consequence,
Vehemently.
no punishment is too extreme.
Vehemently.
And alongside that you must choose your identity off a list of dozens and sometimes hundreds, like they require the most intense, constant rumination
me says
and
that,
self-examination. I mean, I was talking to somebody just yesterday who was telling me that a child who's 12 now, you know, has this check sheet for how do I feel, and this is a really happy child. But you're meant to be thinking all the time, like, how am I feeling right now? Am I, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy am I? How
like
this
the
am I? How
big
that am I? How
attack,
the other am I?
like-
This is all a terribly bad
It's
idea.
like a nuke.
Well, it's clearly bad. Look, one of the things I learned when I was treating people who were socially anxious, I had a lot of anxious people in my clinical practice, which is hardly surprising, because that's the kind of suffering that requires people to seek clinical intervention. So socially anxious people, when they go into a new social situation, think obsessively about how others are thinking about them.
Yes.
And so then they become self-conscious, often about bodily issues, but not only that. They might become self-conscious about their lack of conversation ability and the fact that they're not very interesting and the fact that they're being evaluated by other people. It's a litany of obsessive thoughts. And you might say, well, you could train people to stop thinking about themselves, but you can't stop people from thinking about something by telling them to stop thinking about something. But what you can train people to do is to think more about other people. And so one of the techniques that I used in my practice was, okay, now, when you go into a social situation next time, like we'd go through the niceties of introducing yourself and making sure they knew your name and get that ritualized so that it was practiced and expert and therefore not a source of anxiety. But the next thing is, your job is to make the other person that you're talking to as comfortable as possible, to pay
that's
as
the
much
thing I can't
attention
do.
to them. And so
Because
we
my
know
speech impediment,
that the
if
more you
someone's
think
not
about
used
yourself,
to
this is
my
literally
speech
true.
impediment,
There is no difference between thinking about yourself and being miserable. They load on the same statistical axis. And so these kids that are constantly being tormented by 150 identities, so that's a front not of freedom, but of utter chaos, and then asked to constantly reflect on their own state of emotional well-being and happiness, is the surest route to the kind of misery that's going to open them up to psychogenic epidemics, let's say. The clinical data on that are clear.
Saved me there.
And then you land into that, the idea that you may have been led to believe that because you're a not very feminine girl or a not very masculine boy, that means that really you are of the opposite sex. The fact is you're not, and no one around you is going to think that you are because you don't look
I don't know if I should
like
quit
the
just
opposite
because
sex.
of this.
And you become even more self-conscious, like self-consciousness brought you to this point. And now you're hyper-aware that everyone around you doesn't think of yourself as the way that you've just presented yourself. And then you're watching for misgendering. And you know, you're actually being told that it's a really terrible thing to do and that no one would do this unless they really hated you and they wanted you to die. Like they want you to disappear, they want trans people dead, they want them gone, you know? I mean, that's what people say about me, that I want, you know, to cause a genocide of some sort. And I mean, like, when did I ever write such a thing? So what that is it's the feeling that you've put all of your ability to care about yourself, understand yourself, define yourself onto other people and how they're looking at you, and they're not looking at you right, they're looking at you funny. So you are now out of control.
Add to that mix, okay, so we could add a couple of other layers. So kids that are well socialized and popular develop that ability between the age of 2 and 4.
Right.
And what they undergo this psychological transformation in identity. They go from a 2-year-old egocentrism. So the 2-year-old can only play a game with him or herself. They can't play a shared game. And so 2-year-olds will play in parallel, but they can't play a joint game. And that means that their identity, this is so important, their identity is purely subjectively defined. And they have temper tantrums if you interfere with that. Okay, now between 2 and 4, most kids extend their identity out into the communal world. And so one of the ways they do that is imagine two little kids between the age of, say, 3 and 5 playing house. A little boy and a little girl. The little boy will ask the little girl, "Do you want to play house?" And she'll say yes. And so what that means now is they've established a joint identity for the time span of their play. And the joint identity is that they're both engaged in the same epistemological world, in the same conceptual world. And then they negotiate roles. Say, well, I'll be the daddy and you be the mommy. And they can flip that role, by the way, and sometimes they will because they want to play out the other side. But generally they pick a sex-appropriate role for obvious reasons. And then, having established the goal, so let's pretend about the household, which is a form of thought, they have to jointly establish an identity that's acceptable to each other. And then they have to do something even more sophisticated, which is they have to conduct themselves in those roles so that the game is fun, so that both people will keep playing, and so that both people want to keep playing with each other.
Weird.
Now, it doesn't take much thought to see that that's an analog and a prodroma to what you actually do as an adult when you enter an intimate relationship that's long-term, is you play house in the long run. But so what happens is between the age of 2 and 4, your identity moves from egocentric and subjectively defined to communal and negotiated. And now this idea that we have that your identity is only what you say it is appeals not only to, I suppose, the ideologues that are pushing it, but it also appeals to people who are developmentally stuck, and I mean this in the deepest sense, are stuck at a 2-year-old level of psychological development. And I think maybe there's a couple of reasons for that. You imagine, a lot of kids are only kids now, so they're not socialized by their siblings. A lot of kids have older parents with lots of resources, so they're sheltered in a way that children never have been. Jesus. And a lot of kids are exposed to computer screens and TV screens at a very early age, so they don't have the opportunity to engage in the kind of dramatic play that helps them develop an extended social identity. And so it's possible, on top of all this, that we have an epidemic of narcissism that's being capitalized on by the woke ideologues who are also likely suffering from the same psychopathology.
I have no comment on that. I think his main point is that the fact that there are people whose perspective or their political effort is all around being able to identify as anyone you want is evidence of narcissism, and that and then he'll give some psychological grounding for it, but he was saying that people will have, so it wasn't as informative as I thought it would be, or at least not like it wasn't didn't involve the stuff I'm looking for self-help stuff. I'll be honest, I'm in the mood for that. So there's not really self-help, but it's more of a commentary on society, and I don't agree with it per se, because one fundamental thing that he was getting at was how two kids playing the same game agree to take on certain roles, and it becomes beyond like making that connection in the first place, how important that is. There's still the issue also that I think there's a lot of people who agree with the game, if you want to call it a game, of like, if you feel like you're a gender, you are that gender. There's a lot of agreement in that area, so that's not really, like, that may not be the most strong viewpoint, or a strong way to make that connection. Hopefully Senpai helps me out. Hopefully, I'm kind of nervous actually. It's probably gonna get demolished. I didn't get. I'm concerned. Should probably use Farcaster. Because I didn't get a bonus. I hope this is not a waste. Because usually when you fight this one, you get. There it is. Yeah, good thing I went. That was not a waste. I'll have to take extra. Because who knows if someone will join. We'll see. Lost time. Turn. How do I... No, I didn't fire immediately because I hadn't played in a while and I forgot. The most important things is the card and how to wear it when you're on those. And I don't know how to dodge these at all. I never played... fuck my life. Okay.
What I'm really made of.
Your days are numbered.
Good. Oh, nice. Another one.
Now's my chance.
Nice. But a few KO hits there. I'm not used to playing. Oh my god. See, there's an influence of I forgot what they're called. There's a type of arcade game that feels like heavily inspired this fight. They used to be called top-down shooters. Cool. Okay, they have. It's been a while since I played, so I forget his name. He's a new monster. The trademark of Sunbreak expansion.
After you.
I said. don't want to do KO yet.
This is the end!
It's usually when a mountain monster's up. A mountain monster just resets things, so.
Showed him. Farewell!
I should probably sharpen. Oh, I'm already here. I don't know what. I've been hit by these before unexpectedly, and I don't know what to do. There's a point like here. It becomes easier. Okay, that was a first for me. I didn't know how you could do that. I was slightly inspired by what's his face, because okay, so do this. Can I block? Okay, at end time. I'm doing well. Especially for someone who hasn't played. Then I'm gonna get killed any moment now just because I said that. That move does a lot of damage. I know it does. Oh god. I could have got the tail. I'm gonna get hit. Oh, no, I won't be. Nice. I'll get hit. Do some more KO.
This is the end!
Okay, thought that'd be harder.
It's over!
Because that was Master Rake 6. Or Master Rake
I'll just help
Rank 6? I
myself,
forget the
thank
phrasing.
you.
I haven't played in a while.
Here we go.
It's like the highest mission
Just a little souvenir of our time together.
level. Cool. That was fun. That was the best hunt so far, actually, I'd say. So I had planned. Now this is probably like a thing I'll do down the road, but I'm streaming for 3 hours. I've done 2 hours. If I had a few viewers, I would probably move on to like to see if anyone who's viewing me would want to
How ya like me now?
either to play Monster Hunter or just have a conversation.
Yes.
But I don't have viewers. I don't have the viewers, I think. But in the future, I'll have that. Actually, it looks like on Ick, I do, but I have no idea who that is. I don't know who you are, but hello. I usually skip these. I probably shouldn't if I'm streaming, because there are probably some people who are interested. I mean, they just kept coming and coming. I don't know how you all managed to deal with it the last time. What's this? Are you just now realizing what caliber of hunter Rudolph truly is? That's the name of my character. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here we go again. You know, Rudolph, once she starts talking about you, she never stops. What? No, that's not true at all. I merely recount the tales of Rudolph's victories with vigor. How dare you put... Enough, you two. Sigh. Ichi, unfortunately, with my speech impediment, that is a hard name to say, unfortunately. Has more anomaly quest prepared. See here for the details. Goodbye. I think they already left. Glad they helped. Even though I shouldn't say their names out loud.
Your spirit shines
You did it,
bright.
Rudolph. You defeated the rampage yet again. I'm so glad that everyone in your village is safe. Messages from the capital tell of how the knights were welcomed to Kimura with open arms, and a merry time was had by all.
Yep.
Oh, how I dream to visit your homeland someday. Fat chance. Itch. You really see how hard it is for me. You can't go on holiday yet. You just started this job. And by fulfilling your duty, you've unlocked Master Rate 30. Congratulations. I've also compiled the list detailing A3 afflicted monster quests. Please have a look when you get the chance.
Come again.
I've hardly done any afflicted, so that's I don't know if that maybe isn't as rewarding as it was intended to be. Should probably do an anomaly from understanding that's the main like end game. But yeah, I haven't. Okay, I should think about that for a second. I evaluate what the hell should I do for these.
Would you like to try an anomaly?
Like, is there a point to doing these? I should, yeah. That is a note I write for myself to make sure I don't want to spend the time to figure it out. Whoever is viewing me, if you know about anomalies, if you can explain them to me. I don't. I have read about them like a couple months ago when I first began playing the game, but it's been a couple months and I've forgotten. So I'm just gonna write a note for myself. After the stream, I'll look up anomalies. So otherwise, I'm not going to research
I feel
it
safer with you here. You have put my mind at ease.
while I'm in stream. So let's start another video. So the theme for this once again is think for yourself, and this is probably a good one here. So
this video was made possible by Brilliant, a math and science problem-solving website that makes learning fun and rewarding. By meeting two characters, Vlad and Ivan, we'll learn how thinking for ourselves makes us more unstoppable, but also why people stop thinking for themselves in the first place. Since he had first started driving, Vlad always used his memory to navigate through his city, Vancouver. As a result, he developed an excellent internal map of the city. With a few minor directions, he could find his way to any location. And as he grew older, his internal map only became better. He quickly learned how to navigate in other cities too, due to the knowledge he had developed in Vancouver. He intuitively discovered deep patterns embedded in the construction of every
exactly
city.
what I want to do. Let's join.
He
ASAP.
sharpened his
Nice.
directional
That's the one I
instincts to the
wanted
point that he was practically incapable of being lost.
Wonder if he's already in the.
No matter where Vlad wanted to go, he could get there. He was free. Ivan, on the other hand, had always used a GPS to navigate through his city. He refused to train his mind. He never thought about where he was driving, only about whatever else was going on in his life, his work, his relationships, his schoolwork, and so on. As a result, he never developed a strong internal map. He never developed his directional instincts. And so when his GPS broke down, he easily got lost and was incapable of finding his way to certain places. He was always at the mercy of his GPS.
I forgot how to.
Because Vlad thought for
Hey, I
himself.
forgot to do there we go.
Because he trained his mind to solve his own problems. Because he refused to outsource his thinking. Because he didn't depend on an external authority. He had more control over his destiny than Ivan. Unlike Ivan, Vlad struggled to find his way in the
This
beginning,
example,
but over time, this struggle gave him more freedom. The more Vlad thought for himself,
think for yourself.
the better his knowledge of the world became. And the more knowledgeable he became, the better he became at thinking. Thinking improves knowledge, and knowledge improves thinking. The process is self-reinforcing. And the better you get at thinking, the more control you have over your destiny. Independent thinkers are like trees. They struggle at first, but once their roots grow and expand, they grow faster and faster. They become stronger and more unstoppable in their self-expression. And thinking for ourselves is relatively simple. All we need to do is ask ourselves why. Why can't I get to my destination? Why study this subject? Why work this job? Why dress this way? Why keep quiet when we have something to say? Every why fertilizes the mind to receive the seed of knowledge and prepares us to learn. But if we sincerely look at ourselves, many of us might find that we left our innate curiosity behind a long time ago. We stopped asking why because we found it difficult to bear. The kid who asked why too many times got put into timeout. They were found to be annoying. They were labeled a troublemaker. An adult who asked why too many times ended up like Socrates, imprisoned and left for dead, labeled as a corrupter of society and the youth. In his essay, Self-Reliance, Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote that, quote, "Society everywhere is in conspiracy against the manhood of every one of its members. The virtue in most request is conformity." From a young age, society, with a capital S, trained us to submit to authority. Society taught us not to ask too many questions or be annoying. Society taught us to be, quote, good little boys and girls. In the eyes of society, a good child is one that uncritically accepts what the grown-ups say, one that follows all the rules imposed upon it. As Nietzsche might say, in the eyes of society, a good kid is like a camel, bearing the burdens of others without making too much of a fuss about it. When we asked our parents why we should eat our veggies, because I said so. When we asked our teachers why we had to keep quiet and put our hands up, because I said so. When a cop unjustly asks us to get out of the car and we ask why, because I said so. Everywhere society requests that we conform and submit. But if all we know is conformity and submission, who will be left to ask the tyrants why? Who will be left to question the usefulness and the beneficence of the rules imposed on us? And if there's no one left to ask why, we'll uncritically accept the groundless justification for these rules, because I said so. A mind that accepts because I said so becomes barren, unable to learn and grow. Because I said so is the oppressor of independent thought, the oppressor of our curiosity, the oppressor of our why. And because society is made up of individuals, without independent thought, society itself can't survive and thrive. An independent mind refuses authority. There's no authority but the truth. Everything is subject to questioning and criticism. And if something can't be questioned or criticized, that means we're in the presence of a tyrant. And perhaps the greatest threat of tyranny exists between our own two ears. A true thinker doesn't accept the authority of his own past thoughts. They subject their own mind to the same questioning, criticism, and scrutiny that they do every other mind. A thinker doesn't accept because I said so, and so they retain their why. Why keeps the mind fertile to receive the seed of knowledge, and from the seed of knowledge grows the fruits of creativity. And the independent mind's greatest creation is its own life, its own destiny. So never stop asking why. And if you're wondering why, I just gave you my reason. It's up to you to question it, criticize it, and decide for yourself whether it's true or not. And if you're looking for a practical way to improve your logical thinking skills, I recommend checking out this week's sponsor, Brilliant.org. Through their logic course, Brilliant actually helped me become a better thinker. And by becoming a better thinker, they helped me become a better writer. Truth telling is the basis of good writing. And to be able to distinguish true statements from false ones, you have to be good at logic, and that's where Brilliant comes in. In their logic course, you'll learn to solve problems by taking factual statements and using logic to make them coherent. And you'll get to do it through Brilliant's signature fun and interactive style. I can't really stress how important it is to be a great logical thinker in these
I don't know if I
uncertain
could do
times.
if we can
By
show
learning
that,
how to
actually.
separate
I-
fact from fiction,
I should
you'll
probably
instantly
research that kind of stuff.
It's from the top. Here comes the
Yeah, so that video, big thing is to think for yourself. That's like the entire video, actually, and the whole videos I've watched so far, that's the most relevant to the streams to be. I think the thing that he really highlighted was that being open-minded and also being critically minded. That's a balance for sure. And so I agree with having both, like to work on both of those skills. I think it's like there's a skill in knowing when to be open-minded and when to be critical. That's an issue. I don't think he really went into that.
Very kind.
But his main thing was that, like, if you want to be good at thinking for yourself, and the only thing he did to say that you should is that example with the GPS, then you should develop those two skills. Based on what that video kind of was for me. A little bit harder when you're playing a game at the same time. But that's what I got out of it. How about you? I'm not sure if I should keep asking you questions. I assume if you haven't said anything already, you don't want to say anything. But if you do have thoughts on it, I'd be curious. Just wish I got more out of it. You know, I always have that feeling with everything I consume. To be honest, wish I got more out of it. Always want to maximize things. Oh, you just put the heal mate, dang it.
Be careful. Putting down a trap. Now's our chance. Get ready.
So I might actually have someone able to speak with me. Actually, that might happen soon. For the record. So I'll see after this hunt to see if it will happen. I'm not sure yet though. I see someone EM'd me. So.
It's after you!
This should be fine now.
Thanks. Look out!
I've got a surprise for you.
So, I mentioned earlier on the stream, I'm not sure if the viewers saw this, probably not, but first off, I'm a game developer. I work for a AAA company.
Thank you.
And I'm a designer, more specifically. And so, I have no heal. I have no heal. Why don't you have heal? I've been in the industry for 4 years. It's probably the most unique thing about me as a streamer, probably. Yeah, that's what you get. I'm calling myself a streamer. It's my first stream. Is that okay? Is that like a? I assume that's an ego thing. All you need to do is stream once, right? It's not like a
Thanks, buddy.
hider. You need to like to get yourself published, and even then, there are people who are afraid to call themselves a hater after that. But a thing I comment on, I've been commenting on in the last couple hours, is how Monster Hunter Rise, there's the player character speaks a lot. Like you can hear them when they are playing, and get the fuck out of here. and that I'm a little bit skeptical of it because the point of Monster Hunter is not really to have a highly realized player character with a personality. It's not the aim of the game, the point of the game. It's very fantasy focused, and so the focus is on the mechanics in fulfilling a hunter fantasy. So it's more like an RPG like Dragon Age than a game like RPG like Mass Effect, where it's more about playing a specific character in a plot. That's what I get for trying to talk while I'm playing.
Nice one.
If I have to, or I want to. The guy without heals. Because I'm alone, I might focus a bit before I finish what I was saying. I know this guy's very dangerous up front, so I shouldn't be here. I'm now freaking out. He's a lot easier to take out. Okay, I got heals. Okay, nice.
Be careful!
I don't know what this is. Okay. Uh-oh.
After it!
Maybe the key thing is I suck at the game, basically. That I don't get killed often. So I like to say I don't suck at the game, but I'm not exactly a speed runner. I usually fight monsters I never fought in the past, so there's that too. So it's kind of hard to know their openings.
Your days are numbered.
I've got a surprise for you.
Oh.
Taste of this.
It's after you!
Nice.
Sweet.
Second mountain opportunity. Let's see if this person actually mount correctly.
You listen to me now.
Get ready!
Tail is not coming off. Goes to show how tough the fight really is. How much health it has.
I'll let you
I'm
off
using
the hook
mega
now.
potions like mad.
It's the end of the line for you. Have a taste of this.
Watch out!
I don't know what's happening.
You're the target!
Ah, whoa, whoa, oh, I almost fucked myself up.
Thank you. Don't let it get you down!
Oh my god! Get out of the way. Okay.
Thank you.
Have you seen this before? See a heal over there, I'm gonna risk it. Going for my tail.
It's targeting you!
I guess he ran out of heals.
Be careful!
Oh no. What is this gonna be? Okay. That was a cool move. See more like graphics.
Placing a trap here.
Oh, nice.
It's from the trap.
Going for KO that misses completely. That's okay.
It's the end of the line for you.
It's hardly been KO'd, so I'm hoping that one
It's
will come
bleeding.
soon.
Get away.
Is he twitching? Hunt's on the longer side.
This is the end!
Man, that tail just doesn't give. There we go. Okay.
This is gonna
I don't know him, so I'm more sensitive to stuff I don't know. To attacks I just don't recognize.
Thanks, buddy.
It's like, and whenever I speak, it's like, oh, I should probably, like, it's a little more, it's harder, so there's a feeling of uncertainty, even if there's like the slightest, like, if I don't know where the monster is, I'm more stressed, which is awesome. It's fun. Oh no, okay. Thank God that curved.
This is for my fellow hunters.
job.
Yep. Getting a horn. Let's heal for the future. I don't know. I've never seen him do this yet.
I'm after you.
I was blocking, but okay. I kind of don't want to use the heal. Because Slayer might need it. Oh no, I can't move. Okay. What? The fuck? Okay. Now I know. Oh, that dealt a lot of damage. No. Probably used the wire bug. That's probably what happened last time.
Thanks, buddy.
Come on, fight.
Nice.
Let's see.
Let's see what you have.
Now we travel long distance. Got 2 feints. Used up a lot of my heals. I'm sure I could. Not used to using this many, to be honest. This okay. I'm good. How long does this last? The ailment I have right now. Keen armor spear. Nice. Spear. Man, that used a lot. It has to do with the element I had. Oh no, he's but by himself. I hope he doesn't get fainted. Slayer by him.
Take this.
Watch out!
I was saying something earlier. I guess I might as well say it. I was saying it for the one person who was viewing, but I might as well finish what I was saying. 'Cause I think now that Slayer is back. Oh, there we go.
Had a great time.
There were player character voiceovers used during the hunt. I was a little bit skeptical at first, of course, but and I still kind of am. But I like it when it signals a big attack from a monster, because there's no other feedback for that other than like the monster kind of like. A few of them will do this. They'll like
Here we go.
they'll do a slow walk. It's not obvious, and it makes it more. They make the game more accessible. But then there's stuff where like the player character of a different player are saying things. Like they're doing a lot. I assume I assume it's supposed to give the like. And I think I like that as well. That's the thing. I think it's overall an improvement to have player character speech, because I think what's happening, an issue with past Monster Hunters maybe is not you don't really fully know what the other person is doing at times. At least it's harder for people who are new to know what the other person is doing. Just to see them, things are fast, and just ends up not happening. To not really appreciate the actions of the other player. But I think the player arc kind of increases the presence of the other players, so it feels more like a group effort, basically. So, yeah. So I think I'm a fan of them. I don't think it's... I think there is a benefit to it in the end. So, yeah. Rudolph, your incredible daily service to the kingdom. It's just a usual thing you get every so often. I don't know who as the Chevalier is, or the Chevalier. Where do I find him? Oh, I heard you took down the Gore Magala. Who'd thunk it was one of the really nasty ones, eh? Certainly not me. Anyway, thanks to you, we were able to concentrate on the Chevalier stuff. Thanks for being a sweetheart. Our Chevalier. Trying to pronounce right. Stuff being the investigation into Amatsu, of course. I'm glad we were able to find that silly whittle elder dwag. Wow. Mention Amatsu. Even that piece of trash monster would dare show up when you're as you poo. All these words that just hard for me was around. Nerve. Despite all the trouble, at least everyone is happy again. Teehee. To who? What do you have for me?
Hi, and welcome to my...
Zenny, greetings, Rudolph. I have wonderful news. A colleague of mine has taught me a new method of melding. You may only use certain materials, but I think you'll find the results rather pleasing, or at least I hope. But don't take my word for it. Why not try it for yourself?
All right. Good luck.
I should probably do this more, melding, but
I've got some great deals for
there's
you.
a lot of end game oriented stuff. I should probably research more.
Mysteries abound.
Oh. I'll read up.
Okay then. See you soon.
It's not that important though, I think. All right, so just thinking how things have been going. So that's pretty good. We are advancing. That's what I want. That was a long fight too. I should probably fill up on potions.
I'm having a sale today. Thank you for your business. As always, thank you.
I would say a big criticism I have of the game is I activated the tracking Which, you know what? I'm gonna deactivate. I think it affects every time I do an action. It saves, and it's. I used to have it on because I used to play this game while on the GeForce Now. Display. Save data. Autosave. That's not what I want. I'll look into it. Fuck it. I'm not gonna spend time on that. All content. Didn't use anything else, I think. I think I used... And there we go. Let's find a new lobby. Someone else to use for my own ends. I do wonder if I'm skipping things a bit, because I think people who play like against, for example, this Valheim. I forgot the name of the character. This is a 7. Oh, that's probably. I forgot to read that.
A special quest has been added. Please select the quest that
Yeah,
best
probably
suits
just-
you.
A communication error occurred. Great.
I look forward to your safe return.
Heck, I can only assume that's what happened. Bullets. Let's join. But the rest of the crew are low. No. I'm here to progress and only progress. That's how well, for now anyway. Get to a point where it's so hard that I need to grind anomalies, but I don't think I'm at that point yet. At least I don't think so. I'm yawning.
There's a special quest for you.
It's interesting. A recent thing I've been thinking about is like, apparently you experience half of your life by the time you reach 7 years old. I heard that, and that's confusing to me because it feels like life doesn't really start till like you're like, it begins in high school where you're very conscious of everyone else, and it just really starts getting really complex. So I find that very surprising, but that's apparently what I heard that from a single headline of an article, so who knows how accurate that is. But ever since then I've been thinking about that kind of stuff, and I know that time seems to go faster as you age. And I wonder if it's like it's hard to experience that when you play a video game, because your perception of time maybe not like makes things a little bit feel faster, but usually a game like you have ingrained habits, right? You play first person shooters. You play Monster Hunter or whatever, like you develop skills, and so you still are able to play the game. And so the result is, no matter what, after like a half hour, like you finish a tough hunt, and even if you're older and you've used all your habits to, like your well-developed habits and skill to finish the hunt, you still get the same amount of high points. And I wonder if it ends up feeling like roughly the same amount of time. So anyway, that's just the thing I've been thinking about. How can I get the most out of life? And so I've just been thinking about that, because I've just spent the last almost 3 hours playing the game with that in the back of my mind, and it feels like this is I've played for a while. Like it feels that way.
Take a look at the quest list.
So that's just what I'm thinking. Like maybe that those high points are still happening, and you're able to use those to feel like as if you're spending the same amount of effort or experience or whatever. Anyway, let's get back to doing something interesting and join this quest. I think. Oh, wow, exactly what I wanted to do. You can access this quest because there are too many. I should have talked. Should have. Dang it. Shouldn't have spent that effort on that. Oh, I need to search. Let's see. In the meantime, I'll start a video. Which one this time? So the theme is think for yourself.
See ya.
But not getting good ones. You haven't heard the right to be confident. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't expect to look up of Vinny videos, so or to watch them during the stream. I decided to, but so I didn't. I should have planned ahead to have videos on hand
Be sure to check
for
the
the
special
full
quest.
stream.
Here's the list of quests.
Looks like.
Take care.
Let's see if they join this. I kind of hope they don't join. What the fuck? Oh. Okay. See that a lot. This one. Let's do this one.
Good to go. Time to go. I'm still
The
busy.
intellectual roots of critical thinking can be traced back to 350 BC.
Thick
The
accent.
first one to embrace critical thinking practices was the famous Greek philosopher Socrates. He was obsessed with the notion that many people were basing their ideologies on an empty rhetoric
It's gonna be
rather
hard
than
while
sane
playing.
and rational thinking. Confused meanings, contradictory beliefs, biases, and self-delusion formed the foundation of their argumentation, and
Shit,
Socrates
cutscene.
was constantly questioning such practices.
When happening upon a frozen statue, its terrifying creator soon reveals itself. The Lord of the Tundra is heartless and cold, showering its prey in an impenetrable veil of snow, leading foolish creatures to an icy grave.
Valhalla. Love playing Valhalla in Los Angeles World. That was a good time.
Let's do this.
Video?
He also had an aversion towards authority because he believed that a person in power doesn't necessarily possess sound knowledge and insight. He might just be a good manipulator and performer. Socrates' method of revealing unreasonable argumentation is called Socratic questioning and epitomizes the idea of clarity and logical consistency. His approach was later on adopted by Plato, Aristotle, and the Greek skeptics, all of whom shared the belief that things might be different than they appear, and that the critical mind should read between the lines to establish a reasonable truth. The ancient Greek philosophers were the forefathers of the critical thinking movement and influenced the work of other renowned thinkers like Francis Bacon, Niccolo Machiavelli, Isaac Newton, Adam Smith, and Immanuel Kant. What is logic? Well, logic comes from the Greek word logos, which means reason. So, logic and reason are strongly related. Actually, a brief definition of logic would be something along the lines of the study of the principles of correct reasoning. Logic is the force that can give an argument the impetus it requires in order to prevail. Logic is free of emotion, and it deals with information in its purest form. Logic is truth, and truth is logic. Now, we can't really understand logic as a whole if we don't investigate the two main reasoning methods used in order to reach a logical conclusion: deductive and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is used when I try to apply information I find in a specific set to any member of that set. For example, bachelors are unmarried men. Bill is unmarried. Therefore, Bill is a bachelor. As you can see, deductive reasoning is very specific and it doesn't leave room for ambiguity. That's why deductive reasoning is associated with formal logic. Formal logic focuses mainly on the validity of the conclusion produced. It is the most appropriate form of logic because it follows rules and compels us to adopt a more fact-based approach in our narrative. Deductive reasoning in formal logic can be represented as follows. Every A is a B, some C's are A's, therefore some C's are B's. As long as the premise we use to represent the variables A, B, and C is true, the conclusion some C's are B's will always follow. If the conclusion doesn't follow, the argument is invalid. Inductive reasoning, on the other hand, uses explicit data in order to create a bigger and more generalized judgment. For example, yesterday you left home for work at 8 a.m. and arrived on time. Today you left home for work at 8 a.m. and arrived on time. So tomorrow, if you leave home for work at 8 a.m., you will arrive on time. Inductive reasoning is associated with informal logic. That's the most popular form of logic because it is the one we use in our day-to-day lives. I also consider it the most critical one to self-examine because once you manage to understand the mistakes you do in that subset, you will improve your critical thinking immensely. As you can see, the main problem with informal logic is the generalization included. You cannot form solid conclusions and assert opinions when your facts are predicated on arbitrary information. The reason you will encounter informal logic in your everyday interactions is because it is kind of practical, meaning that it helps us make decisions faster. But also because of logical fallacies. Logical fallacies are errors in reasoning that stem from a plethora of factors. Some examples include ad hominem, which is Latin for to the person or man. That is when someone attacks the person and not the argument. It is the most common form of logical fallacy because it is the most personal one. Stereotyping, that's also a common one, and it is usually bolstered in difficult times when emotion takes over reason in social discourse. Faulty sampling, when we use the wrong set of data to form a conclusion, like the example before about time and work. False dilemma, when we try to oversimplify and use binary logic in complex dilemmas, especially when someone tries to explain something as black or white, and the truth is actually gray. Post hoc ergo propter hoc, which is Latin for after this, therefore because of this. Certain forms of prejudice fall into this category, especially when we don't feel lucky or things don't go as planned. For example, every time I wash my car, it rains. For me, arguing is a waste of creative energy, and I try to avoid it. The problem is that we live in a very unstable and polarized world, and arguing sometimes is inevitable. Sometimes you just need to argue because you need to fight for the right cause. Below is a personal equation I have developed over the years after analyzing debates and interviews of various philosophers, thinkers, politicians, and activists. Argument winning equals facts plus frame plus eloquence. Let's analyze each element separately. So facts are important because people will always treasure the truth over assumptions. If truth is very difficult to define, focus on the most popular norm. For instance, we don't know how the universe was created, but the Big Bang theory is quite acceptable at this point in time. Usually the most popular sources of facts are science publications, statistics, and also material where you can find things the opposing party has stated in order to rebut their views. One could argue that some publications and statistics serve certain interests, but as soon as they can't prove that, one can always use this body of knowledge to one's advantage. The most interesting thing about Frame and the reason why people usually favor it so much is because it communicates resilience and character. During an argument, one of the parties will attempt to use personal attacks in order to gain the upper hand. This will inevitably lead to emotionality, and emotionality is the enemy of critical thinking and proper argumentation. Especially during political debates, most of the candidates lose because they can't really handle personal attacks. In an attempt to balance the attack, they become emotional, and the other candidate suddenly looks more suitable for the role. The best way to deal with a personal attack is either to counter-attack fiercely or to reframe the argument into something that you consider more favorable for you. So a fierce attack example would be candidate A would say something like, "You are not suitable for the role because of lack of experience," and candidate B could answer, "You did X in your personal life. You can't be trusted by your own people. How can we trust you to run our country?" And a reframing example could be if candidate A would say, again, "You're not suitable for the role because of lack of experience," and candidate B could answer, "I have enough experience and I want to see this country prosper and flourish even more. We are in this together and I fight for the American people. The only thing you fight for is personal power. We don't need that. We're better than that. We want more than that." Politics aside, I wouldn't suggest using these tactics with friends. These are methods used by famous people in order to increase their influence. Arguments in personal relationships usually lead to friction and problems. Empathy is the best way to deal with disagreements in the social sphere, and also trying to promote reason above everything. Finally, bear in mind that arguments aren't always a bad thing. We tend to condemn arguing because we relate it to immensely unpleasant situations. The truth is that debates can be extremely civilized, and if both parties have a third, they can gain a lot from a heated discussion. Eloquence is optional, but sometimes it can really affect the way you are perceived by your environment. Using big words usually disorients the other party, and if you're having a debate in front of a crowd, you will definitely be perceived as more knowledgeable and persuasive. Eloquence is probably the most difficult of the three skills to cultivate. It requires practice and constant exposure to unknown words and phrases in order for your brain to become accustomed to them. If you really want to cultivate this skill, I would suggest following eloquent speakers like Sam Harris or Alain de Botton, and also reading hard books. While doing so, try and keep a record of words you like in order to revisit them from time to time and eventually entrench them in your vocabulary. Critical thinking, apart from the main benefits it offers in one's social and professional life, it also serves as a useful tool when it comes to decision making. Whenever you face a difficult decision and you need to approach a topic from many angles, you need to employ critical thinking in order to ensure the most optimal result. For that process, I have developed a three-part method that promotes a holistic approach to critical decision making. The decision you're facing will be subject to many factors, thus open to interpretations. Let's assume that you want to vote for a specific candidate. How are you going to investigate whether or not this candidate is really the best choice? Watch the news, watch YouTube videos, read blog posts. That's what most people do, but when it comes to critical thinking, that is not enough. Investigating a topic from a holistic perspective requires that we go deeper. Deeper usually means that you need to read relevant history, do a background check, investigate policies suggested, and also look into opposing views. Why might there be critics? Is the criticism legitimate? Is the critic qualified? Eventually, by gathering all that information, you will be able to form a more sound understanding of the concept in question. Reading about specific topics is not really enough. In order to understand the topic deeply, you need to test it and re-evaluate it based on scrutiny and skepticism. Learn to discuss the topic with other fellow thinkers online and offline in order to form a solid and confident view. understand the implication of your choice, and realize whether or not it is affected by personal biases, emotions, and outside manipulative views. That's why I constantly stress out the importance of self-awareness. We live in a time where people are constantly fighting for our attention, and they will say anything to win it. A self-aware critical thinker needs to battle his own flawed perception and deeply scrutinize his or her personal issues in order to be capable of forming a reasoned and clear view on a topic. Critical thinking is rational thinking that involves
this guy is.
What this means is that
Not what
you
I
need to be
expected.
able to think rationally based on information collected by your environment, but at the same time question your own judgment, meaning avoid limiting
nice.
beliefs and
It's a
biases
good
in
contrast.
order to form the most ideal version of truth possible. Truth is quite precious, especially in a time where truth is being manipulated and concealed for personal gain. During such times, critical thinking gives a bit of control over truth and the ability to be constantly ready for the things to come. Never stop cultivating it.
Oh, is he gonna do a fucking thing? I don't. I played Volcana a couple times. Like, usually when I play Monster Hunter, like I don't usually play the end game. Oh my god. I play like I play through the campaign. Try and see if I can do it without fainting. So I am not. I kind of vaguely recall the move he just did.
It's over!
How do you like me now?
Couldn't quite recall.
Need a hand?
Thanks for coming. Nice,
Yeah, the video was
right?
just the basics of critical thinking. I never heard of that before. Of the facts, frame, and eloquence. I never heard that before. I guess frame and eloquence are like the more surface level attributes that help make an argument more convincing. Because you could have facts on your side, but you need to communicate those facts to.
I needed that.
Very
Or
kind.
aspects of quality.
Thanks.
Kind of you.
It's after you! Thank you.
Very kind.
Thanks.
Who's on tail yet, Christ? Oh, it's over. It's over.
Victory!
That's a wrap.
I don't know if I'm like.
Taken.
I don't understand. Like I see on Reddit, on Discord, the people talk about how hard the game is, and I wonder if my experience playing these series in the past, or the fact that I'm using Sword and Shield, that's probably I'm probably it's just overly easy because of that. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, no issues. Even though I wasn't fully paying attention either. Now,
Some weight.
I hope. Why is he mad? So I think that'll be the last hunt. I streamed for 3 hours. It's the first stream. Whoever's watching, neither YouTuber kick. Any feedback is appreciated. It would be good to know feedback. One thing is I don't know why the video quality, the stream quality, just looks not awesome. Don't know why. It looks good on OBS, but the stream itself, not so much. Which is something I'll look up. Beyond that, that's all. So whoever's watching, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see. I plan to stream Monday evenings, Wednesday evenings, and Sunday mornings. I don't know the exact time. It's, I believe I'm in. I moved here, so I don't know the time zone off heart, but should be yeah, Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be from 6 to 9 o'clock. 6 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard, or Eastern Daylight Saving Time. And yeah, it'll be on Wednesday at the same time on Monday, and then on Sunday I haven't figured out what time yet, but it's either going to be a 3-hour stream, or it might just end up being like a 4 or even 5-hour stream. I'm not sure yet. But once again, thanks a lot, and have a good one.